What if Tony died from the missile? The desert was silent, save for the low rumble of military Humvees in the distance. Tony Stark stood amidst the chaos, fresh off another weapons demonstration. He sipped his whiskey, smug and satisfied, unaware that fate had shifted beneath his feet. Then came the explosion, only this time it wasn't a near miss. The missile marked Stark Industries, hit its mark with grim precision. The blast threw Tony backward, shrapnel tearing through his body, not just toward his chest but deep into vital organs. His heart stopped before the 10 rings could even reach him. Tony Stark died in the dirt that day, billionaire, genius, playboy, and arms dealer. No last words, no redemption arc. Back in the States, Obadiah Stane received the news with a carefully practiced look of solemnity. Secretly, he was thrilled. No Tony meant no interference, no whistleblower, no Iron Man. He quietly took control of Stark Industries and leaned even harder into weapons contracts, expanding business with shady international buyers under the table. The board didn't ask questions. Profits skyrocketed, morality plummeted. Pepper Potts was devastated. She knew Tony had his flaws, but she also knew there was good in him. Something buried beneath the ego and sarcasm. Something that would now never come to light. James Rhodes, Rhodey, pushed for a full military investigation, but ran into classified blocks and corporate red tape. Suspicious, he began his own quiet inquiry, but without Tony's brilliant mind or suit of armor, he hit dead ends. Meanwhile, in a remote cave, Yinsen, who never met Tony in this reality, was executed by the 10 rings after refusing to build weapons. There was no suit, no jailbreak. The terrorist group grew stronger with each passing month, using Stark tech to arm their soldiers. Without Iron Man, the Avengers initiative stalled. Nick Fury kept an eye on rising threats but lacked the key player that would inspire others to join. Steve Rogers remained frozen in ice. Thor's arrival years later would meet a world far less prepared. In the shadows of this darker timeline, a new figure rose, not armored but armored in vengeance. Inspired by Tony's death and disgusted by the misuse of Stark tech, a now paranoid and radicalized scientist named Aldrich Killian began forming AM years earlier than before. Without a hero to counter him, the MCU was no longer a tale of redemption, but a slow descent into chaos, corporate greed, and unchecked power. And so the legend of Iron Man never began, but the world still remembered Tony Stark as the man who could have changed everything.